Shishin. See? How difficult is that? My English, you even cannot see 3 words. Chinese.
Okay, let's take a look at this. At least 300 TikTok employees work for Chinese state media. Report. At least 300 TikTok employees worked for Chinese state media. Report. Notice there's a colon in this headline. And what that means is that this information is contained in this report. So according to a report, at least 300 TikTok employees worked for Chinese state media. And when you see a headline like this, written in this format, you want to pause where the colon is. At least 300 TikTok employees work for Chinese state media. Report. Okay, now let's take a look at some of the words in this article that you guys might not know. TikTok 就是抖音 ，media 是媒体 ，parent company 母公司 ，byte byte 字节。Let's look at the definition for byte.
Byte.
A unit of computer information or data storage capacity that consists of a group of 8 bits and that is used especially to represent an alphanumeric character. All right, that's a little technical, but that's the definition. I wanted to point out to you guys, though, that this word is pronounced exactly the same as this word, byte.
Byte.
Okay, but know the difference. Byte dance, 字节跳动. ByteDance is the name of the parent company of TikTok. If you look at this sign right here, see ByteDance, and then you have these 4 down here. Douyin. All right. Functionary, 公务员. Functionary.
Functionary.
Noun. One who serves in a certain function. 2, one holding office in a government or political party. 这个 one 的意思是 a person. So it's a person who serves in a certain function. A person holding office in a government or political party. Functionary. Okay, I think that one's pretty easy to understand. Let's go to the next word. Scrutiny. 这里写的是审查, but there's more than one definition, so let's take a look at those. Scrutiny.
Scrutiny.
Noun. 1, a searching, examination, or investigation. A minute inquiry. 2, surveillance, close and continuous watching or guarding. 3, a close and searching look. All right, I want to go back to the first one here and look at this word, minute. 这里要念 minute, because here it's an adjective. It's an adjective modifying the word inquiry. Let's look at, in case you don't know what an inquiry is, let's go to that first. There are a couple of pronunciations here.
Inquiry.
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 Inquiry. 1. A request for information. 2. A systematic investigation, often a matter of public interest. 3. Examination into facts or principles, research. All right, so that's what an inquiry is.
Inquiry.
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 Inquiry. Now, what is a minute inquiry? You probably know this word.
Minute.
Minute. A period of time equal to 60 seconds or a 60th of an hour, just a 1分钟. But this word can also be an adjective. And in this case,
Minute.
it's pronounced minute. Extremely small, minute particles. That's one definition. Here's another one. So small as to be insignificant. He will have no more than a minute chance of exercising influence. And then this last one here is the one that is applicable to what we're looking at here. A minute inquiry. So what is a minute inquiry? Of an investigation or account, taking the smallest points into consideration, precise and meticulous. A minute examination of the islands. So what is a minute inquiry? It's an inquiry that takes the smallest points into consideration. It's a precise and meticulous inquiry. Okay. I know that's a little complicated, but I just wanted to break it down for you all. Okay, let's look at the next word. Harvest. 收成 or 收割. See here, it says 收割, to harvest, to reap, to gather in crops. And then the next word is core. 核心. Insist. 坚持. Cybersecurity. 网络安全. Authorization. 授权. Okay. There are some other words in the article that you guys might not know, but we'll talk about those when we see them. Okay, let's get into the article. At least 300 TikTok employees work for Chinese state media. Report. A new report found some overlap between hundreds of employees at TikTok's parent company ByteDance and Chinese state media outlets. Forbes surveyed hundreds of LinkedIn profiles for the tech firm's employees, finding at least 300 workers had previously held positions in Chinese state media, and 15 of them currently work for both. Overlaps is 重叠. And the structure here is overlap between A and B, where A is hundreds of employees at ByteDance and B is Chinese state media outlets. Forbes is a magazine. And for those who don't know what LinkedIn is, let's take a look at that. LinkedIn is an American business and employment-oriented online service that operates via websites and mobile apps. Launched on May 5th, 2003, the platform is primarily used for professional networking and career development and allows job seekers to post their CVs and employers to post jobs. CV is resume. 领英 LinkedIn 中文名为领英，是一款社群网络服务网站。All right. So Forbes looked at hundreds of LinkedIn profiles for ByteDance's employees. When it says the tech firm here, it's referring to ByteDance. And they found that at least 300 workers at ByteDance used to work for Chinese state media. So that's what it means by overlap. There are 300 people who work at ByteDance now that used to work for Chinese state media. And 15 of them currently work for both. 15 indicate the current ByteDance employees are also concurrently employed by Chinese state media entities, including Xinhua News Agency, China Radio International, and China Central/China Global Television, the report said. The US State Department has labeled these organizations as foreign government functionaries. This word here should have an S on the end. Organizations. And department should be capitalized here. 15 here is referring to 15 profiles. TikTok has come under increased scrutiny as US officials continue to warn of the national security threat the app poses. FCC Commissioner Brendan Carr in June called on the CEOs of Google and Apple to remove the app from their stores, citing reports that suggest the app harvests swaths of sensitive data. Remember, we looked at scrutiny. Let's look at number 2 here. Close and continuous watching or guarding. That's what it means here when it says TikTok has come under increased scrutiny. FCC stands for Federal Communications Commission. And I'm going to talk about this use of the word swaths. This is plural. The singular form of this word is swath. Let's look at this word poses and this sentence. TikTok has come under increased scrutiny as US officials continue to warn of the national security threat the app poses. Another way to phrase this would be, as US officials continue to warn that the app poses a national security threat. Poses a threat is a common phrase. To pose a threat. 构成威胁. All right, and let's look at the definition of pose. To present or constitute a problem or danger. The sheer number of visitors is posing a threat to the area. Pose.
Pose.
What does it mean to say that the app harvests swaths of sensitive data? It's being used in an abstract sense here, 抽象的. But if you know what it means to physically harvest a swath of something, then it's easy to understand what it means here. So let's take a look at the definition. 1A, a row of cut grain or grass left by a scythe or mowing machine. 割下的一行草或麦. There's some video that I want to show you guys.
Farmers often have the choice to swath or straight cut when harvesting, depending on the crop. To see the work that was done not only inside the cab, but outside from the air, it was something else to see.
You see that? That's a swath. This is a harvesting machine called a swather.
Hi, Uncle Chris. Hello, welcome to Kate's Egg. Today I'm here with Uncle Chris in the swather, and it's our first day swathing today. It's super exciting. This is what the swather looks like.
This is TikTok harvesting your private personal data.
I forget how to do it every year, so I have to relearn it.
So today is our first day swathing.
So far, no breakdown.
Ooh, that's really great. How big is the header on the swather?
35 feet.
Wow. And it's got a hole in the center, unlike the combine, where the swath just comes out the back like this.
So that's what it means to say that the app harvests swaths of sensitive data. TikTok is not what it appears to be on the surface. It is not just an app for sharing funny videos or memes. That's the sheep's clothing, Carr wrote. At its core, TikTok functions as a sophisticated surveillance tool that harvests extensive amounts of personal and sensitive data. Let's take a look at this sentence. That's the sheep's clothing. To understand that, you have to know a certain idiom. A wolf in sheep's clothing. A wolf in sheep's clothing is an idiom of biblical origin used to describe those playing a role contrary to their real character with whom contact is dangerous, particularly false teachers. Figuratively, anyone who disguises a ruthless nature through an outward show of innocence. Jesus taught his followers to beware of false prophets, which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravening wolves. I'm sure most of you have heard of it in Chinese. 就是披着羊皮的狼. You can see there's a book here called The Wolf in Sheep's Clothing. A good example of a false prophet who was a wolf in sheep's clothing is Joseph Smith, the founder of Mormonism. The Mormon Church calls itself Christian and uses the name of Jesus by calling itself the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. But it's actually a cult. 它是邪教. Going back to this sentence, what it means is that TikTok is dressing itself up as a fun, innocent app, when in actuality, it's a surveillance tool that spies on you. And so in that sense, it's a wolf in sheep's clothing. By the way, here's another example of a colon being used in a headline. Nora O'Donnell's desperate Trump passport tweet not up to CBS reporting standards. Sources. Remember we talked about the colon in this headline and how it tells us that, according to a report, at least 300 TikTok employees work for Chinese state media. So in this headline, this colon tells us that, according to sources, Nora O'Donnell's desperate Trump passport tweet was not up to CBS reporting standards. ByteDance spokesperson Jennifer Banks told Forbes that hiring is decided purely on an individual's professional capability to do the job. For our China market businesses, that includes people who have previously worked in government or state media positions in China, she said. Outside of China, employees also bring experience in government, public policy, and media organizations from dozens of markets. She said that ByteDance does not allow employees to hold second or part-time jobs or any outside business activity in response to the 15 profiles of concurrent ByteDance Chinese state media employees, saying that it would cause a conflict of interest. TikTok recently admitted that employees outside the US could access user information, but insisted that such access required robust cybersecurity protocols and authorization from its US security team. Leaked internal documents from TikTok also show that the company actively pushed employees to downplay the China Association in order to help deal with the growing attention and criticism, Gizmodo reported. Let's look at some more words. Conflict of interest, 是利益冲突. And let's look at the way access is used in this sentence. It's used twice, but it's used in different ways. Let's look at the definition. Access, noun. 1b, the freedom or ability to obtain or make use of something. Access, verb, to be able to use, enter, or get near something. Okay, so just be aware that here it's being used as a verb, and here it's being used as a noun. Let's look at this sentence. Robust cybersecurity protocols and authorization. Robust, adjective. We're going to look at 1C and 1D here. 1C, strongly formed or constructed. 1D, capable of performing without failure under a wide range of conditions. So in this case, robust is an adjective modifying cybersecurity protocols. It's saying that the cybersecurity protocols established by the US security team are robust. And protocols in this case just means a set of rules and procedures that were established by the US security team in relation to cybersecurity. There's a linked article. I'm not going to go through this, but I just wanted to show you guys part of this video. Leaked TikTok memo told employees to downplay the China Association. Downplay, verb, to play down, to de-emphasize. 轻描淡写.
Now back to those major concerns over TikTok. The FCC commissioner is urging Apple and Google to remove the app entirely from its platforms. He says it's posing an unacceptable national security risk to Americans. Let's bring in Vivek Ramaswamy. He's biotech entrepreneur and author of Nation of Victims. He's also the executive chairman of Strive Asset Management. Vivek, thanks so much for being with us today. I want to read this to you. This is from the FCC commissioner. He essentially called TikTok a wolf in sheep's clothing. He says TikTok is not what it appears to be on the surface. It's not just an app for fun sharing fun videos or memes. That's the sheep's clothing. At its core, TikTok functions as a sophisticated surveillance tool that harvests extensive amounts of personal and sensitive data. Are you shocked?
I'm not shocked, and I think that this is actually really interesting because it gets to the heart of a dilemma that a lot of people have wondered about, Jillian, which is how it was that the Communist Party of China went on to embrace such capitalistic principles. And the answer has to do with this. They realized that they could weaponize capitalism as a Trojan horse that the other side could not resist, as a way to accomplish geopolitical and eventually, mark my words, even military goals.
Now, quick point,
I don't
want to interrupt you, but just quick point of clarification for everyone who's watching at home. So TikTok is owned by this company called ByteDance, which is based in Beijing, and critics are contending that they're basically beholden to the Chinese Communist Party.
Okay, 下课了.